The year is 1241. From the vast steppes of the east, a shadow falls across Eastern Europe, a terror unlike any seen before. The Mongol horde, a whirlwind of destruction, was on the march, and panic gripped the continent. King Bela IV of Hungary, defiant, marshaled his forces, a desperate bulwark against the storm. They chose their ground well, the banks of the river Saho, hoping to contain the invaders. But the Mongols, masters of deception, had other plans. Under the cloak of darkness, they executed a daring night assault, their seemingly unstoppable cavalry securing a vital bridgehead with chilling speed. Then came the trap. The Hungarian army found itself ensnared, surrounded by a relentless tide of horsemen. The resulting battle was brutal, swift, and utterly decisive. The Mongol victory was absolute, a shockwave that left a stunned Europe reeling, the future of Christendom hanging precariously in the balance. It was 1854. On the dusty plains of Ballarat, a spark of rebellion was igniting. For years, the gold miners had toiled, but instead of reaping the rewards of their labor, they faced unjust taxes enforced by the hated miners' licenses. Dissatisfaction simmered, then boiled over, as the miners, fed up with oppression, decided enough was enough. Under the defiant banner of the Eureka flag, they fortified their camp, a makeshift stockade against the might of the colonial government. Then, in a brutal dawn raid, government troops descended. The ensuing clash was swift and savage, leaving dozens dead on the blood-soaked ground. Yet in that tragic sacrifice, a seed was sown. The fight for freedom at Eureka, though bloody, became a powerful cry, echoing through history and ultimately shaping the very foundations of Australian democracy. In the twilight of the 18th century, a spark ignited on the Emerald Isle, a desperate plea for freedom that would soon erupt into a conflagration. The year was 1798, and Ireland, chafing under British rule, rose in rebellion. Inspired by the ideals of the French Revolution, a united front of Irish Presbyterians and Catholics, known as the United Irishmen, dared to challenge the mighty empire. Their hopes were high, their courage fierce, but their dream of an independent Ireland was brutally crushed. The rebellion, though ultimately a tragic failure, etched itself into the nation's soul, a potent reminder of the enduring struggle for self-determination that would echo through the centuries to come. Imagine a river, the mighty Mississippi, swollen beyond recognition, transforming into a monstrous, churning sea. In 1927, that terrifying vision became a devastating reality. For months, relentless rains had saturated the land, pushing the river to its breaking point. Then the unthinkable happened. Levees, meant to tame the beast, began to burst, one after another, unleashing a biblical deluge. Millions of acres were submerged, homes swept away in the torrent, and over 500,000 people, predominantly African Americans, were forced to flee, their lives irrevocably altered. This catastrophic flood wasn't just a natural disaster. It was a stark illustration of systemic inequality, exposing the vulnerability of those living on the margins, and forever changing the course of American history and disaster relief efforts. London. The year is 1605. Beneath the very heart of the capital, a conspiracy of terrifying ambition was brewing, fueled by religious fervor and a desperate desire for change. King James I sat on his throne, unaware of the deadly plan being hatched by a group of Catholic dissenters. Their audacious goal, to shatter the very foundations of English power, to blow up Parliament in one catastrophic explosion. At the center of this clandestine operation stood Guy Fawkes, a man chosen for his nerve and his willingness to carry out the unthinkable. In the damp, hidden cellars beneath the House of Lords, he meticulously arranged 36 barrels of gunpowder, enough to obliterate everything above. But fate, it seems, had other plans. An anonymous letter, a whisper of warning, found its way into the right hands, revealing the horrifying truth just hours before the planned atrocity. The plot was foiled. Guy Fawkes was captured, his dark mission tragically, and thankfully, unfulfilled. And so, a nation remembers, lest we forget the day a kingdom narrowly escaped annihilation. Imagine a scorching summer day in 1908, the air thick with dust rising from the sun-baked ruins of an ancient Minoan palace on the island of Crete. Archaeologists, toiling deep within the earth, were on the cusp of a discovery that would baffle scholars for generations. Suddenly, their spades struck something unexpected, a disc made of baked clay, unlike anything they had ever seen. Stamped into its surface, in a perfect spiral, were hundreds of intricate symbols. These weren't the familiar hieroglyphs of Egypt or Mesopotamia. They were unique, a language entirely unknown, a captivating blend of pictograms and abstract signs. What secrets did this mysterious artifact hold? Who carved these cryptic markings, and for what purpose? To this day, the Phaistos Disc remains stubbornly undeciphered, an enduring enigma, a tantalizing whisper from a lost civilization, reminding us just how much of our ancient past remains a profound and beautiful mystery.